Hi guys, so this is gonna be a video about something rather personal, like about taking responsibility. Um, some people they just learn from early on that they're supposed to take responsibility, they don't have a problem with that, and they just go and take on more and more responsibility, and it does good to them. Now, in my life, or maybe you as well, you've had a much more difficult journey towards taking responsibility in your own life for certain decisions, for um, things like that. And I want to talk a bit about what it really means to take responsibility, what it means to live a life that you really decide and that are not subconsciously decided by other people around you or by the circumstances around you or by your situation in life. So, having said that, I believe one of the things that we humans are called to do in life is to take a responsibility for our own condition, our action, and our thoughts, for everything that concerns us. Although um, we feel like we're not sometimes always responsible for the things that happened in our lives, especially as we were children or something like that. But eventually, we will need to own that, and we will need to take responsibility for the things that we also weren't responsible for. Why? Because we want to be powerful people. If we don't take ownership of the situations in our lives, and I don't know why this. Okay. If we don't take ownership of the situations in life, then we're going to leave it just to the circumstances. We're just going to leave the consequences of our lives to other people. We need to deliberately think, where do we want to go in life, and what are the steps I need to take right now in order to get there. Now, I haven't always done that. I've just been living kind of day after day, or just following the impressions that I get, or asking God and following the impressions I get from the Lord every day. But I haven't really sat down and haven't been really open to listen also what he wants to say on the long term, on the long run, what his vision is, and what the steps are to implement that vision right now. And that is because I have been very averse to planning. I didn't like planning a lot. I didn't want to plan my time. I didn't want to plan my free time, my work time, whatever it is, because it's much easier to run on autopilot. But that means you abandon yourself to the circumstances that around you, or to the default mindset that you have been taught through life. Like, the mindset you have right now is, unless you worked on it, probably not self-chosen by you, but it's more like the product of your environment. But you need to change that. I need to change that. I do not want to live my life according to what other people programmed me to believe or think. So, partly my mindset might come from my parents, like just because I saw my dad having a job, and the job is kind of the main thing in his life, that's why the program inside of me, in my soul, wants me to do the same thing, to replicate that. But that's not necessarily what I want to do, or it's not at all what I want to do. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 job, no matter how meaningful that could be for some people. I'm not saying that's wrong, it's just not for me. I don't want that. But I feel my urge to go into that direction inside of me, and I'm like, no, I don't want this. And I need to take ownership and responsibility over the fact that inside of me, I want to. There's the urge to go get a job, but I know it's not the right thing to do for me in life. So the question is, how can we, um, really take responsibility and change the program, the mindset, the predisposition that we have been taught, or that we have been born with. So I believe one of the first things that we need to do is we need to realize that what we think is normal is not at all normal. Whatever you think is a normal life or a good life or a healthy life doesn't is not at all a good, healthy, or normal life. It's just your beliefs that you have been taught, that you have adopted, that have been instilled in you. And now you can start blaming that on your parents, on your circumstances, on the world, on life in general, and stuff like this. But eventually, if you don't go, no, these are my mindsets, these are my beliefs, and if I don't work on them, nobody's gonna do it for me. So I choose to believe the things that are there, if they're subconscious or not. In the end, only person that is responsible for them is me. Only person that can change them is me. So, for example, the ideal of having a safe, good-paying career or job that is kind of fun or according to your interests, that's the model that I have learned, and I believe our education system is also leading to that, to this 9 to 5 thing. But that's just one example from my life where I realize, okay, I don't want to replicate that, and I need to be conscious about this, and I need to consciously think, okay, where do I want to go? What is my vision? How do I want to end up? And then, when I ask myself that question, I can build backwards into the present and see, well, which are the steps that are required from me right now in order to really land there and end up there where I want to go. So you need to ask yourself those questions as well, and I believe it's vital for us to do that. It's absolutely crucial and important to do this, because we have like these biases and these predispositions, programs inside of us that are not necessarily working for us, but sometimes against us, that we need to come against, or that we need to disable and replace them with other good, positive programs. And one of the ways to do that is really that you ask yourself, what's my vision? How can I what does it mean to end up at this vision? And you really don't take it like, that's what I want to do. It's more like, envision yourself. How will you end up in life? And once you envision how you're going to end up, then you ask yourself, okay, what are the necessary steps? How am I going to get there? What are the necessary steps? How is it going to look like? How do I get there? And once you kind of see the path, then you can think, okay, that means there are certain actionable steps that are right now required from me that I have to take now. There are several tools how you can plan out your life like this, but essentially you ask the questions, what do I want, what's my vision, how do I want to end up? Very often you also, what's useful is you ask yourself, well, why is that? So that you realize, okay, that's really what is important for me in life. That's why I want to achieve these things in life. And once you know your why, that's kind of your fuel to keep the car going. And then you ask yourself the how. What are the steps to get there? And you really try to think it from the end towards you. And only then you think about actionable steps right now that you are supposed to take. That way, your planning is not ending up the wrong way. So I encourage you to try that out. Just take some minutes now, sit down, ask yourself, where do you want to end up? What's my vision? And then you will see what are the things in your life right now that need to change in order to get there. Don't be afraid to really look honestly at your life. You're doing this for you. It's not to perform or for someone else. And yeah, go ahead and do it and have fun. God bless you.